On day 2, I once again headed to the breakfast buffet bright and early and had some salad, pork belly, grilled mackerel, fettuccine and meatballs, and veggies. I also got another one of their incredible sashimi bowls, which included sea bream and yellowtail. And once again, everything was fantastic. All the ingredients used were so fresh and high quality. Even this fettuccine and meatballs was well made and tasted great. The best part of the buffet was definitely the fresh sea bream and yellowtail on rice, along with all the different condiments. It's hard to believe this buffet cost less than 15 Canadian dollars. You could even drink unlimited sake if you wanted to. This was definitely one of the best quality and value buffets I tried in Japan. I even got dessert again. After breakfast, I headed to Matsuyama Castle to burn off some much needed calories. For lunch, I decided it was time to try out a true Tai-Meshi meal. There were many restaurants offering similar versions around Matsuyama Castle, and I chose this one, Ginshari Tai-Meshi. They offered traditional Tai-Meshi as well as elaborate versions. They also offered a buri meshi, which I really wanted to try, but I thought I had to give the original a chance. The platter came with sea bream soup and many different preparations of Thai, including kelp aged, skin, sashimi, as well as some shirasu. There was also Thai with sweet soy sauce, egg and green onions, and this one was marinated in sesame sauce with soy flavored seaweed. Rice filtered with charcoal was included, as was the Tai-Meshi sauce. There's a specific order to do things while eating Tai-Meshi, and the first is to give yourself a good bowl of rice. Charcoal is added to absorb any impurities, which apparently gives it a more pure flavor. There were actually instructions on how to eat this, and they said the next step was to mix the sauce. I think the sauce was a mixture of dashi, soy, mirin, sake, and egg. I decided to start off with the traditional preparation, simply Thai in the sauce. It had a mild but very comforting flavor. The fish has almost no natural flavor, but it has a very pleasant, soft, chewy texture. The sauce has a nice balance of sweet, salty, and rich with dashi flavor. The soup had a strong sea bream taste. They must have a lot of bones to make stock here. The Thai had such a perfect texture. It was firm but not tough, and soft while having a pleasant amount of chewiness. The sesame flavor was strong but very enjoyable. The kelp aged one was next to try. From my understanding, the fish was pressed between sheets of kelp before being placed in the fridge. It had a more dry and firm texture, which gave it an even more pleasant, soft chewiness. The flavor wasn't much different, but the thing to appreciate here isn't bold flavors. In fact, it's the opposite. The simplicity of immaculately prepared fresh ingredients is what makes this meal enjoyable. It's a meal to eat slowly and savor the clean flavors. The skin was quite chewy, pretty rubbery, but still a nice clean flavor. The contrast in texture actually made it quite enjoyable. I tried my best to notice any difference in the rice from the charcoal, but all Japanese rice really tastes the same to me. The last to try was the sweet soy and egg flavor. It was rich with a strong sweet soy taste. A much stronger flavor than the other preparations, but still very delicious. After enjoying the flavors individually, you're supposed to add them over rice and pour the sauce. This was also very delicious, but I think I preferred eating everything individually. There are lots of dishes in Japan where you separate the meal into stages of eating to change the flavors so they don't become repetitive. Everything tasted good together, but I definitely enjoyed the pure flavors of the individual ingredients better. Lots of garnishes like different vegetables, seaweeds, and pickles were also included on the platter, which added nice crunchy textures and fresh tastes. I thoroughly enjoyed taking my time to fully appreciate this meal. This was definitely a delicious lunch and a very unique experience. I still think I would have enjoyed the Burry version slightly more, but this was another meal I was completely blown away by, especially considering it only cost about 30 Canadian dollars. This is another restaurant that I'll say is a must-try if you come to Matsuyama, since Tai-Meshi is famous here, and I think this version was spectacular. And for the last restaurant of this video, I headed to a very highly rated Izakaya for dinner. I was given an otoshi with 3 different dishes: braised beef and daikon, spinach with sesame, and ume suisho. I also ordered a beer which came with a hastily drawn smiley face. Spinach was good, fresh and crunchy with sesame fragrance. The braised beef was excellent, lots of different lean, fatty, and tendon pieces, all braised in the classic slightly sweet soy dashi flavor. The daikon was completely tender and delicious as well. This was easily the best of the 3 dishes. Ume suisho is salted plum paste mixed with thinly chopped shark cartilage. I've had this before and it's definitely not my favorite. It's extremely salty, sour, and crunchy, and not exactly in a great way. It may not have been my favorite, but the variety of tastes and textures between these 3 different dishes made this overall a very nice otoshi. I ordered a whole bunch of dishes, and the first to arrive was the grilled scallop. It came garnished with a bunch of green onions, as well as on a bed of thinly sliced caramelized onions. Everything was coated in a reduced soy butter sauce. The scallop was tender and flavorful, as well as being a good size. The caramelized onions added a nice sweetness along with the rich and salty sauce. The green onions on top added freshness. It was such a nice mix of sweet and savory. This was basically a perfect scallop, 10 out of 10. I even drank the sauce. The next dish that arrived was the shime saba, or cured mackerel. This is the house specialty and was served with a tableside blowtorching. I think every single person that ate here ordered this dish. After torching, they instruct you to squeeze on some fresh lemon. It was served with hot mustard, chili paste, and soy sauce. Shime saba is one of my favorite things to eat in Japan, and I try it whenever I see it on the menu. I've had some excellent ones, with the best one so far being in Jotsu in Niigata Prefecture. Until now, this piece of fish was so tender and surprisingly melt in your mouth, a quality that mackerel really doesn't possess. It had strong seasonings of salt and vinegar and a rich and creamy fish flavor. The torching gave a smoky fragrance, which was a perfect complementary flavor to the fish. I tried it with the mustard, but the flavor was too overpowering. The flavor of the fish was way too good to mask it with mustard. A dip of soy sauce was the best pairing in my opinion. It added a level of umami which wasn't present. Actually, soy mixed with the chili paste was my favorite. This is now the best shime saba I've tried in Japan, 10 out of 10. I also ordered the grilled salmon, which turned out to be 2 strips of belly served with coarsely chopped daikon. I'd never seen daikon served like this before, so I actually thought it was onion originally. It's much less fragrant when served like this. I definitely prefer the traditional finer grating. As you can imagine, the grilled salmon belly was about as soft as fish can be. It was served with the skin on, which was crisped up on the grill. The meat was extremely fatty and juicy with rich salmon flavor. The grilling added a pleasant smoky taste as well. Combined with their special soy sauce, this was another fantastic dish. I would have preferred a little bit more char and finer grated daikon, but other than that, it was about as good as it could be. 9 out of 10. Alright, for the next dish, what I was trying to order was small pieces of grilled chicken. But what I received were small pieces of chicken skin that had been cooked on a flat-top grill, which I guess translated to the same word. The chicken skin had been pressed flat with a heavy weight on the flat top to make it extra crispy. It was served with lots of cabbage and a sweet soy sauce. This is not something I would ever order normally, but it tasted pretty good. A sweet soy glaze over nicely rendered, very crispy chicken skin. A couple pieces would have been really delicious, but I had to eat like 40 unfortunately, and some of them were huge like this one. It would have been difficult to eat on its own, but with a couple of beers, it was a pretty manageable, delicious snack. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10 because it tasted exactly how you would imagine crispy chicken skin with sweet soy sauce to taste. I saw the dish I wanted being cooked, so I told the server I wanted one of those. And this time I received the small pieces of grilled chicken that I wanted. Served with a ton of green and white onions, sesame seeds, and pepper paste. This is something I've had a few times before, and this is quickly becoming one of my favorite izakaya foods. It's dark meat chicken that's cut up, seasoned heavily with oil, salt, and pepper, put into a closed metal grilling container, and grilled over intense flames. The flames are caused by the oil, giving the chicken an extremely strong scorched oil flavor. This flavor is very strong and heavy, which is why it's paired with such a large amount of fresh onions. At izakayas, I really enjoy the heavily flavored foods that you slowly snack on, and this is one of my favorites. 9.5 out of 10. Anyways, I was pretty full after that one. Overall, this was probably the best izakaya I ate at during my entire trip in Japan. The food was incredible, especially the shime saba. Service was also fantastic. The staff constantly said phrases together and cheered while delivering orders to make it more exciting. And that was the end of 2 fantastic days of eating in Matsuyama. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next video in Matsuyama.